The problem with this market is people easily forgets what just happened last month and starts becoming negative, and many will say we went down 40%, but they will comfortably forget we went down 40% after a 200% pump. You should not be someone like that, because this bull run you want to maximize your profits, not to reduce your potential gains being a doubter. Now, being a doubter in this market means you are confusing yourself and reducing your possibility to make more wealth. Look back in the history, you will definitely understand these price fluctuation looks similar, right? And you can understand that this is normal. It happens from the beginning of the bull run towards the end of wave 2 or just before the starting of wave 3. We used to see similar price actions, and every time we used to get something like that. And remember, this bull market, in this market cycle, the bullish news is coming out as usual on a daily basis, and you need to position well enough to take this opportunity. I see many chasing the market with leveraged positions, and I'm surprised, because chasing the market is not bad, because if you know what you're doing, then you can kind of minimize your risk. But with leverage, that becomes a little bit hard to do if you don't enter at the bottom based on the support when the price is bouncing from that support. Now, say with all these kind of positive news during this bull market, there would be a euphoria of buyers coming in trying to maximize the profit, and the whales will manipulate for sure. They'll take the profit. In this market, it's not someone just losing the profit. It's one guy taking the profit out from your portfolio. Say if I take my profits out, similarly, say for example, a lot of whales do that, then the price actually dips and your profit goes down. It's not like you are waiting there. If you are a long-term investors, neglect all of these short-term stuff, because just you don't fall for that trap. Instead, you need to clear your mindset and look at what the price is doing. That's how you're going to get more value. Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you look at these charts, patterns and all, you can understand these were happening just a month before, and it's happening right now. So what does that point you towards? You really have to look at all those, because when individuals kind of highlight you, XRP price just crashed, this is the perspective I just explained. We corrected. After a 20% gain, we corrected 40%. That's not a crash. So you have to clear your mind, look at the chart, and then read these articles. Don't get confused with these kind of agenda, because what they want during this bull market is make maximum profit, but don't allow you to do that because you are confused reading these articles. This is what exactly we did early in the November 2020. So say from 6th November to 10th November, we had this pattern moving, right? So if you look at that, followed by that, we had a bullish pump to the upside, which it really looks like not that much, because we moved from 0.248 towards 0.26. So in terms of total price, it's not a huge pump, but still in terms of percentage of fluctuation and the change in trend on a shorter time frame, that was huge. Now to understand that, come here and look at what is happening right now. Now this one is an 30-minute chart, right? I'm just showing you the pattern, and a similar pattern is forming here on an hourly chart. To get that clarity, you have to understand we are having this pattern after a pump. Last time it was just before a pump. So taking those into account and looking at the current path in which the price is moving, we are still inside this correction. So the corrective channel is still continuing, whereas the RSI is making higher low. That is actually a new rising trend line forming in the RSI, but the MACD or the price is not yet supporting that one. But do remember, the price is slowing down. If you look at the price fluctuation or the percentage of pump to the downside when it was in the correction, or it is in the correction, now it is reducing. So that means sellers are slowing down or buyers are increasing their momentum of buying. Because if they do understand, like, okay, the correction is kind of over and we are going to turn around, start next wave up, yes, they will enter into the market slowly, because they look at this not just like a 40% crash, instead a 40% correction after a 220% pump. So that's the right way to look at this market. Look back, last 2017, you had this. Now, just a word of caution here is the first dip here, the bottom for us was 0.46. I highlighted this previously. And immediately you got a wick way below that towards 0.786 fib level. So if that comes in, it should be a little bit dangerous for a lot of you guys, because I know many of you guys are using leverage trades, which can, create panic selling. Because if you are, say, for example, taking that Fibonacci retracement levels and plotting it out there, and then looking at where the 0.786 lies, that is around 0.346. But do understand, if you are a long-term investor, at least a medium-term investor, investing in this market without leverage, these kind of dips, that's not hurting you, because it's just a wick going down and then coming up, closing that, and in a couple of days it's back into the trading range. So if you look at that here, the trading range here is starting from 0.46 towards the upside of 0.78. So do keep that clear in your mind, because right now we are around 0.48, and 4.48 to 0.46 is acting as a support. And if that history repeats and we are correcting back here, there is still a chance that your stop loss may be triggered if you are trading with that stop loss. Now, do remember, it's not always the case. Back early in 2017, this was the case. We corrected back towards 0.382. The price actually hold it till that level, and if you look at the first correction here and till the end, we kind of retested that again and again, say 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 times, and the 5th time we didn't actually quite came below towards the 0.46 and slowly reduced the momentum. Buyers and sellers started fighting, and slowly sellers started losing, or buyers won that war, and then they pushed the price above the previous high. So take that into the current situation. This was the previous low, and still now we came here once, but the buyers pushed the price to the upside, or sellers failed. Again, sellers pushed the price down and they are still holding at this level, but they haven't yet managed to break that level and come back towards 0.46. So still, if you look at the momentum, sellers are in control, or the corrective forces are happening still now. Because say, for example, those guys who were riding this market all the way from 0.22, 0.23 or 0.25, for them it's still 100% profit at 0.5. So if they are starting to doubt this market, they would be taking their profit or putting a sell position, which is dangerous in this market. In a bull run, you never put a sell position. You take your profit, that's okay, that's understandable. No one has ever gone bankrupt by taking profit, just they miss out on huge gains. Now, while being in this market and looking at what is going on around, that really gets interesting, right? Exploration of central bank digital currency interoperability. Now, this is not actually a small deal, because when you look at the grand scheme of things, you understand that this asset is providing that value. Now, another question which majority were concerned about is like the escrow system of XRP. And look at this here, use an open protocol providing that tool to solve using that native crypto escrow functions. So they can use that XRP pool for solving this issue, which is the interoperability between different central bank digital currency. Now, keep this in mind when we are saying this. It's not only one or two governments coming out with this. There's a lot of different central banks who are coming out with their own central bank digital currency. And Ripple seeks a director to engage with central banks on digital currency. Do you think they're going to hire someone paying that much of a huge salary just to keep that position filled? Or do you really think they are moving at that pace, working with the central banks, and they need one more individual to expand that role? Because say this tweet from Michael highlights ECB private sector can help with intensifying digital euro project. So private sector can help with intensifying digital euro project. That is what ECB is saying. And this is a private sector company trying to help central banks on building the digital currency. Now that's easy to connect. You don't actually have to jump much and look at that. Now I don't actually think in the grand scheme of things, what they're trying to put out is that kind of correct thing. Instead, I'll say, if you look at BTC and what it is doing, there are a lot of things which you have to consider. The market is still concentrating or focusing more on BTC. Right? Investors are coming in and putting it on BTC. They are not looking at XRP in the grand scheme of things. So BTC is 1% up, Ether just below that, and XRP is a negative 1%. So you have to really understand that when Bitcoin dominance increases, alts suffer. When Bitcoin dominance decreases, alts get that room to run. Because right now, majority of the stars and all those celebrities and other stuffs, when they are looking at crypto market, they are looking at Bitcoin. They're not directly coming out and looking at XRP because they need time to do that. They need to understand what this technology is created for and what Bitcoin is doing right now and which is the better option. So that is a utility perspective where we will reach soon. But you do have to understand it takes time, right? Right now, different projects are coming out with their own ability, trying to provide as much utility as possible. If you look at this, say for example, XRP Ledger, then Ethereum side smart contract, and then Avalanche consensus is working together in the Spark one, right? The Spark is combining all of these and trying to put out a new use case. Now, use case is already there. They're trying to solve that using the system. So crypto users split on taking out loan to buy Bitcoin dips. Now, whether it's Bitcoin dips or XRP dips, I'll say don't do that. If you know what you're doing and if you have a proper plan and you're a backup plan, if it goes wrong, then it's okay. But do understand it's hugely risky to do that. You're going out taking a loan and you don't know whether this market cycle is an extended bull run or the bull run like last time. If it is repeating the history, then that's fine. It will just be a year and we'll reach the all-time highs. But what if it's an extended bull run and we are going towards 2.5 year bull run and then a 1.5 year correction? We don't know. No one knows. We are anticipating that this market is moving up. In this bull run, we are going to get higher prices. But again, I'm repeating this. You want a better lifestyle. I do agree with that. But that doesn't mean you have to risk your current lifestyle to get that better lifestyle. Instead, stay put on your current lifestyle so that your family won't suffer in case anything goes wrong. And then you try to make a new lifestyle without compromising this. So that's the real investor. That's how you should think on a practical manner, right? Now, it's completely up to you. This is just my opinion on that. Now, you come back, look at the price. We understood that on an impulsive wave, we are above this base channel and we are still holding above that base channel. Many will have doubts why we are uploading this again, because this is so important to understand that if you look at these levels, we are still above that. Now, when we say that, you do have to understand, say you are putting a horizontal line here, which is the first touch here. Then the second one, where we have slowed down a bit, it's again a higher low. We haven't came back down, and that's why this level is still holding, and that's so important. Now, if you correctly plot another resistance line, as I showed you last time, this was a support here, supporting all the way back from this level. that extends towards this area. It's, kind of, we dipped a little bit once, then we broke below, we retested that area, we came back, went back and retested, then came back all the way to make that a rounded bottom. If you look at that and call it as a cup and handle or a rounded bottom, it's up to you. Both are similar patterns. Still, we are holding those areas, right? Even if we wick back down, 0.45 should hold, right? So you have multiple probabilities looking at the charts. So what are you doing? You are trying to make the odds on your side, or at least if the odds are going that side, you're trying to jump onto that side and make the odds on your side so that your portfolio won't suffer much if anything goes wrong. Because if you look at the market right now, you can see it is being supported. The market is getting support. The RSI is showing you that the market is supporting the price at this time, meaning buyers do like to buy this asset at this price. They currently believe that 0.49, 0.5 is the base of this asset, or at least this is the new price for this asset. So if you look at RSI, at the same time, if you concentrate on the MACD, you can understand, yes, on a shorter time frame, we are on the negative side. But if you go on to a daily, weekly or a monthly chart to understand what is the trend currently, we are on the positive area waiting for a U-turn to the correction to the upside on a MACD, and we came back all the way in the daily towards the current level where we are around 48.50. So with the bounce here, we're going to move back into neutral towards the positive category in RSI. So that's on daily. Now looking at the macro perspective, say you go on a monthly and you see things like this. Okay, we'll just delete those lines so it's clear. Now these lines give you that idea. We have crossed way above in this cycle, just in a monthly candle that erased a lot of bearishness, right? The previous resistance here, that was taken out, and this resistance here is currently holding as a support. Then we respected this resistance, we slowed down there, which we previously told we will be doing. Why? Because we looked at the price, the pattern which the price was forming, we took the measurement from the bottom and we plotted it towards the resistance here, the long-term resistance, and I told you guys we would be putting out that here, and we reached there. And that's not a bad deal because we already reached that top there. Now go back into that monthly chart and look at what's coming next. If we are to bounce from here, then the next level of resistance is a little bit here, which is around 0.92, 0.99. Right? The overhead resistance would be from the close of this candle towards the wick, the top part of that candle. So till $1 mark, even if you are buying now, you are kind of doubling your price. You're doubling your profit by reaching this area. Now, we are not expecting just that. We are expecting much more. But on a shorter time frame, if you are a trader looking to trade this market, always buy at a support where the price is bouncing. Now, why would you actually do that? Buy the dip of this asset, because on a weekly, you are getting positive news. On a monthly, you're getting extra positive news because the MACD is entering onto the positive territory. Last time that happened, can go back in time, just zoom into the MACD and look what happened just before that. Now, yeah, I know it gets a little bit confusing there, but if you look at that, when we were entering into that territory, I'll pull the price to the upside so it's clear for you guys that you're not missing anything. When we were entering towards that positive range, that was the first candle, which is same thing happening right now. Then the next candle. Now, this candle only had a little bit price to the downside, whereas right now on a monthly, we are getting even more on the negative side. So even if in the next 15 days, we go up and close above $1, we are still bullish, but we had a long wick to the downside. So that means sellers are still there trying to push the price downside. But if we manage to push the price up near $1 or above that, almost a lot of sell positions are going to be liquidated, and we should be getting that liquidity as a push to the upside, and we should move to the further upside. Now, why should you actually consider that? Because looking at all of this, things are moving into that direction where tokenization is increasing. Money is coming into the market. Like, this one is again showing for Bitcoin, for the general crypto market. But understand, a guy who's coming into crypto, say he entered in Bitcoin and it went significantly upside. Okay, now he should be taking out his profit and looking at another asset, because these are investors, real investors. They are looking at taking out that profit and then putting that in an undervalued asset. Right now, XRP is a lot undervalued than you expect. And this one, I kind of agree with that. He says, Ethereum, XRP and other 7 crypto assets are going to go to the moon, meaning next alt season is going to kick in. And these indicators which he's kind of showing you with Ethereum and other assets is kind of, something which we had highlighted previously. Now, these charts and patterns which we are assessing right now, he's showing you something similar. Just we go in detail on a shorter time frame as well to give you that clarity, right? So the other assets he's highlighting here is like Link, Neo, Cardano and all. But for Link, I personally have a different perspective. You buy at the bottom, you sell at the top. An asset which has already went up, say for example, significantly up like 15,000%. I don't think that's a good opportunity to buy in. Yeah, it was a good opportunity to buy back early in this year, but just not right now. It's a difficult task to actually do that. If you know what you're doing, that's going to be cool, but do limit your risk as much as possible when you're entering this market, because if you just go on and look at the altcoin market cap and then look at the general trend for the altcoin. Now this is on a monthly, it's going to be a little hard to understand the patterns. Instead, if you can jump into a weekly chart like this, it shows you clear pattern, right? We crossed this level, which was the substantial overhead resistance here. If you see this, now that's when you put a line, it becomes a little bit difficult. Instead, when you look at for the support and resistance zone, you kind of get that clearly. Now we broke above that. The reaccumulation position went well. Then we started bouncing. Now this bounce here can act as a flag. Now from that weekly, if you move on towards a daily, you kind of get this one. So that's bullish. So when we are going to the next leg to the upside from this symmetrical triangle, giving a continuation pattern in this bull run, you should be in that. To get those updates on real time, like what's happening right now, what you are expecting, if you would like to, you can jump into the Patreon. Link is given in the description below. All these charts, analysis and all, whenever I see those, I put that out for you. If you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.